All right, thank you for staying with Daybreak. Let's start that conversation on life after politics and within politics as well for the young people who are there. Honorable Billian Ojiwa is here, former Madare Member of Parliament aspirant under the UDA ticket. Honorable Siad Osman is here, former MC aspirant for CBD under the UDA ticket as well. And Honorable Amos Mwago is the current Member of Parliament for Stare, gotten through the Jubilee ticket. Asante sana for making time for all of you. But before we get into how life has been, and of course, Honorable Amos Mwago, you're new into this whole space of politics.
Yeah.
30 days into President Ruto's administration, what are the hits and misses, according to your own assessment?
I would really not like us to delve into that because 30 days is relatively a very short time, given that the president is looking forward to introduce a new economic dispensation. We've never had this bottom-up approach kind of economy, and he's still not put his government into place. Like, for example, he has not selected his cabinet has not been approved by Parliament. So we are still in the last administration's kind of way of operations. So we are yet to see how he's going to operationalize his government once he has his CSS, his people in different departments. So we are yet to feel his administration because he don't have his people in place as of now. But going by what he's saying, he's reiterating his promise he's reaffirming his promises to the Kenyans. He's not left what he's promised during the campaign period. He's still stuck on what he promised Kenyans. And with the few moves he's made, we can see people are hopeful that he's going to implement what he promised because he stood by it. As far as we are concerned, we are okay as to that point because he's following up with what he promised.
Yeah.
About implementation, we have to see because he's yet to come up with his team to get on the ground and set things rolling. So as for the first 30 days, I think there's been so much on his table, given that he's also a new president. So he's trying to fix things here and there.
Yeah.
But we have to see. We are still expecting to see what he'll come up with at the end of the day.
You came in under the Jubilee administration, which then is under Azimio now as it stands.
Yeah.
Most of your colleagues have been shifting camp.
Yeah, sure.
Have you shifted camp?
For me, I've not shifted camp. I'm still in Azimio. What the president did, the president invited us as parliament to oversight his roles. So you cannot oversight something that is not actual as of now. You cannot even criticize anything. We are yet to see, you see, we are yet to see if he's going to implement what he promised Kenyans. He's a president now. We have to work with him. We have to work under him, but we have to oversight him. But we have to do positive criticism. It is not good to be toxic as of now. It is good to wait and see if he implements what he promised Kenyans. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm still in Azimio. Okay. And very ready to oversight the presidency.
Okay. Yeah. Siad, what is your assessment of the president's performance so far?
Thank you, Trevor, for having me. I can imagine the expectations and the anxiety in Kenyans' mind because of the suffering in the economy and everything. But as my brother here said, the 30 days is a short time to evaluate a situation. Only that now what I can say, in the 30 days, the presidency or the president, what he has done, a number of things, about seven things, you know, appointing of the judges and so forth. I think he's on the task, running up and down and, you know, trying to make things run. And obviously, there's a policymakers and there are implementers. So as the president now has nominated his cabinet, I think once the cabinet is in office, that's the time you can evaluate and say now, balance and check what is the what have you done the last 6 months or 3 months or so forth. But for now, I think we are into the deck as UDA, and I think in the next the hopes are high, and I can tell Kenyans be patient for about 2-3 months, then things will be in order.
Okay, Billian.
Thank you so much for having me. First of all, I think the president is facing a major surgery into, you know, the economy, the situation of the economy, and you can see right now with whatever he has started working on, there are already signals that there's a path that he's planning to take. So 30 days are few days, but you can see he has started restructuring a couple of institutions, meaning he's getting ready to get dirty and to make sure that, he serves, he delivers his promises. He's already started working on his team because, he's an hands-on man, so he knows who should be where. So very soon we'll start seeing, major differences in different sectors. So we just be patient and just wait for him. I know he's up to the task.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amos, you mentioned something interesting there in terms of positive criticism. You are now deemed as the opposition. What is the strategy going forward in order to hold the government accountable? Because we've seen some meetings here and there. G1G, there was a meeting. There was also another meeting with the border operators. What is the strategy going forward to hold the government accountable, to ensure that they stick to the plan?
The plan in place with us in Azimio, we are going to look at what the president has been saying and what is happening on the ground. You remember the promise on reducing the cost of living. You see, we've seen things happen to the contrary. So that is why we are trying to put pressure, holding these meetings, trying to tell Kenyans, this is what we are told, this is what's happening. Then we are given a time frame, we are told, within some time, because they've invested the subsidies on production rather than on consumption, within some time we are going to see the change. So we have a wait-and-see situation. We have a wait-and-see like situation where we have to see, is it practical within the first production year with this subsidizing the production? Will it pay fruits after 1 year, after the first production year, so that we can be able to do the criticism now from there?
Okay.
But I think there are so many consultative meetings trying to understand the whole thing about bottom-up approach, the promises of the president, so that we can come in and actually criticize what is necessary. We don't want toxic criticism where we'll maybe choke the government and they turn it on us. They say now we are not able to perform because of all this picketing and stuff.
Okay. Siad, what should it be in terms of accountability? Because they're the young people who are expecting certain things. There's a hustler fund, and then they come in and they say there's not enough money. Earlier on they said the war in Ukraine doesn't affect us. Now it is affecting us. How then would the government be held accountable from your view as a young person?
I agree with my brother here, Amos, because the young generation that is here now is to think with their head than their mind, of saying that I'm affiliated to certain political line for me to criticize or to support certain issues. But what matters here is the lives and the issues of all Kenyans. Anything that affects any Kenyan affects all of us. And there might be some allegations of contradictions as per that last 30 days, the way others say. But when you're outside and when you're inside, things are different. And right now, it's good to be honest, to sometimes say things, what I've said before is not what I thought it is, but the situation is like this. And for the young people right now, we are the brother keepers for now, because our brothers, our what do you call, our elders who are before us and who are the leadership, those days, the affiliation and the political temperature and pressure made them not to speak about it. But the youth are people who are fresh mind, people who can speak for their mind, people who can speak for Kenyans. And the opposition that we expect this time round will come from the youth, including myself, who is in UDA.
Okay. Billion, what would it take to have an effective opposition? Siad says it has to now come from the youth. Is that where the buck stops?
First of all, we all have a collective responsibility as Kenyans and as leaders to make sure that we deliver the promises. Because I'm sure when we were campaigning, all of us promised our constituents there are certain things that we are going to do, including following up with the government. So I think I've seen the Azimio team trying to patch together another formidable team to be watchdogs to the government, which is good. But I think as young people, our responsibility now, because we are inheriting this country from these leaders. So our responsibility is making sure that, you know, there's an alignment to the next 5-10 years so that there's no disconnection between what is happening now and what will happen in the next 10 years. So part of it is, you know, the food security, the stability, the financial stability of young people. So my hope is our brothers who made it to parliament, especially young ones, tries to push the agenda of young people, but I don't see it as a opposition. I see it as being there to represent the many voices that are outside, because for us, as UDA, we were the face of young people, so there are a lot of expectations from young people, but the people who can actively push for this are our brothers who are in parliament ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have to take a quick break. When we come back now, we talk about lessons, political lessons after politics. One of them made it through as a member of parliament for Starehe, 2 of them did not. We'll find out from them what are the issues that they learned and how can it be made better for young people going forward. Keep your views coming also at Trevor Mbija at Citizen TV Kenya. Use the hashtag Daybreak. See you in just a bit.